Volunteer or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember. They can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
HBCU, league pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU, league pass. HBCU, league pass. It's game time, I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
There he is. Hello, welcome to another edition of the O&G Strike Zone. Oh my gosh, I'm laughing because I my God bless y'all, man. I love doing this show. Brian Fulford joined with my guys, Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway. Brothers, it's good to see all of you, man. I wasn't sure we were going to see everybody, but we got everybody here. So how's everybody doing tonight?
Everybody's great, man. You great?
I'm wonderful. Lovely.
Eddie Kane Jr. Eddie Kane Jr.
Kane Jr.
You just slide right on in there, right before the show starts.
Oh, well said, man. Well said. Man, you got my nose running, man. The over-under today is 6. 6. That's the over-under on the number of times with my sinuses that I wipe my nose. So here's the first one. If you're playing the how many times Brian wipes his nose on the show, if you're playing that drinking game. Thanks for watching the O&G Strike Zone here. Make sure if you are watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, make sure first off that you are subscribed to our channel or our page. We greatly appreciate it. And then go ahead and give us a like. I'm sure we'll give you plenty to like about over the next hour or two. And then, hey, go back and find a way to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at O&G Strike Zone. Well, fellas, we got a lot to talk about in today's show. We're going to get into talking about FAMU's another dominating defensive performance. We're going to kind of debate on what that defensive name should be. We've seen a lot of different things floating around, so we'll kind of have some fun with that. We'll also get a chance to talk about our Lady Rattlers with a dominating performance over the weekend. 3 games in 2 days, all sweeps. Beautiful job by the ladies, our Rattler volleyball team doing the thing. And we'll also get a chance to transition, and we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Mike Rice of our golf program, who won our program's first conference championship last year, or I guess it was this year in the spring, right? We can't say it was that long ago, even though it seems ages when we were in another conference. And then we'll get a chance to do our weekly preview for our upcoming opponent, football upcoming opponent. That's Alabama A&M. Big game where the Rattlers will travel to Huntsville, Alabama for an early afternoon game. We'll get a chance to talk to Ted Dixie. He's the play-by-play voice for the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. So we'll kind of find out and see how the Bulldogs are licking their wounds after that beating they took from Jackson State. And then, of course, we'll do what we love to do at the end of the show is do our predictions, kind of look at what's going on in the SWAC as well. All right, fellas. Well, let's get into it. Our big takeaways from the South Carolina State win. I'll kind of talk with. I'll start with you, Kelvin. And what are your big takeaways from the win against the Bulldogs this past weekend?
Well, it's solidified for me that our defense is elite. We don't have to worry about what we're going to look like from week to week. We don't have to worry about this week. I thought that what South Carolina State does and the weapons that they have correlate well with what we'll see this week. Alabama A&M theoretically may have a few more weapons, but to me they were similar built offensively, and so I really feel good about the performance. The only reason they scored was that there was some interesting officiating in the second half with pass interference and then a few mental mistakes that kept the drive alive in which they end up scoring. But all in all, the special teams play was phenomenal. Of course, I know we'll talk about Isaiah Land more, but he had another devastating game, just unblockable. Both with pass rush and the run game, tackles for loss and sacks. And then we had several turnovers. We had a 51-yard field goal, kickoffs in the end zone. So a very good win over a very good team at the end of the day. And then on the opposite side of the ball, we scored the first time we got the ball in the second half. Tight end over the middle. We were talking about attacking the middle a little bit more. And, we almost had 200 yards of pass offense, 180 or so. And then we had over 100-yard rusher with Bishop on about 12 carries. So, again, 5 yards, 4 to 5 yards carried by all the running backs. So it was a complete game. And I'm going to stop there because when we go talking about moving forward in the A&M game, I'm going to talk more about where I think we need to go and grow at moving forward.
All right, Kofi, your big takeaways from the weekend.
Defense. Our defense is, I want to say, I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again. It's an FBS caliber defense. If you think about it, South Carolina State scored 3 points on Clemson. We were like 7 minutes away from a shutout against South Carolina State. And had we not had those mental little breakdowns and making those simple little mistakes with the personal fouls that gave them, I think, about 45 yards on that particular drive. And yeah, the officiating was bad, but some of the stuff was within our control. And so we have to do a better job of that. But we only allow South Carolina State 7 points. They scored 35 points on New Mexico State, 42 points on Alabama A&M. And they've been scoring pretty frequently. I think they came in averaging 30 points a game. We held them down to 7, and it really should have been a shutout had we been able to remain focused throughout the game. So I'm looking forward to it, man. We had a special teams touchdown that was called back. And in reality, we also left about, I want to say, 21 points on the board. We could have scored at least 42 points in this particular game. So there's still some cleaning up to do, still some mental games going on that line. It takes us forever to get the ball in from time to time. Be like, what is the play? Why is it taking so long? But other than that, I thought it was a good, clean, as Billy Joe used to say, performance from Rattler football. It was a good display of unadulterated Rattler football.
Yeah, good point. You mentioned those penalties, 11 penalties, 94 yards for us in that contest. I was really impressed and really liked, again, we had more rush attempts than pass attempts. That's something that I'm pleasantly surprised. And this is now the second week in a row. It was 40-24. We had 40 rush attempts. Rashawn McKay, 24 pass attempts, only quarterback of record. Let's see. We had 6 rushers, I should say. I don't know if we got to count Smith. He had a negative 5-yard loss. McKay had a couple of I don't know if they're counting. Yeah, they're probably counting sacks as negative rushing plays, aren't they? It seems that way.
Yes.
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 So that's in reality, we probably had 38 true rushes. But as you guys mentioned, Bishop Bonnet, 12 attempts, 118 net yards, and a score. That's a 9.8 average. Terrell Jennings, 16 attempts, 59 net yards, and a score. Eddie Tillman, the third, got in the ball game, 6 attempts, 23 net yards. And Jamari Sherrod, 3 attempts, 20 net yards. His long was a 17-yard run, and that was pretty much the bulk of it. Rashawn McKay, of course, 14 of 24, 181 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked twice. Just an efficient day. His big target, he did throw to 7 different receivers in this contest. David Manigo was just the man. I mean, Manigo was another guy who I thought came away really impressive. The number of passes that he caught on the sideline, I got to think of the seven receptions that he had for 82 yards, I think 4 or 5 of them probably came along the sideline. Just really impressive performance. Still haven't seen Chad Hunter. Not sure what we know or
He's been
don't know.
injured. He's been injured.
Yeah, so he hasn't come back
possibly
yet.
homecoming.
And how about Xavier Smith being held to just 1 reception for, I believe it was 2 yards. That's pretty low for one of the nation's.
But he caught a nice pass that he dove for. Was that an Alabama State game or was that this game?
I think that was Alabama State game.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the Alabama State game. So that was from the offensive standpoint. You guys mentioned the special teams. How about Jose Romo Martinez? Not only was he the SWAC special teams player of the week, he was the BCSN National Special Teams Player of the Week, who, he's now taken over the punting duties for Chris Fadul. Romo Martinez hit field goals from 20, 47, and 51 right before the end of the contest, just to add a few extra points there at the end. He did miss from 31 yards out, so he didn't quite have a clean sheet. But again, he was 3 for 3 on his PATs, 4 punts for an average of 37 yards. He had 3 of those punts inside of the 20, which is always good. And then he had 7 kickoffs. 5 of them were touchbacks. So, look, if anybody needed an ice bath after that contest, I hope they took care of Romo Martinez, because my man was doing work. Very busy day. Any other thoughts from the offensive side of the ball, guys, before we jump over to the defensive, before we get into some of the defensive superlatives and some of the individual playmakers on defense?
Well, I want to say I thought McKay played a good, efficient game. I think 14 to 24, right?
Yes, 14 to 24.
14 to 24, but I saw some passes, man, that were really, really good. And I think it was a pass to it was going to the end zone that I thought was an excellent pass. It wasn't Sheree.
Young.
Okay. It was the Young
The
that
one
I
we
thought
scored on was with the tight end.
Right, but I'm talking about the one that he did not complete that I thought was just an excellent throw. I see what Coach Simmons talks about when he says that he has a really, really, really big arm. Anytime you can roll to one side of the field and throw it to the other one on time, that's a big time arm. And he was able to do that. That's like a 40-yard, 50-yard throw almost, for him to be able to do that and complete that. And he actually did that in the North Carolina A&T game on the score that we had for that touchdown. He rolled to his left and actually threw to his right, and the ball actually got there. So I think that, McKay is growing in confidence, and as he does, the offense is going to improve. I still want to see him take the ball on obvious plays where they're going to attack the running back and take it. I want to see him run. But we're
Why do you want
also
to see him?
seeing.
Why do you want to see him run? That's not his thing. Why do you want to see McKay run?
He doesn't have to, but the play is there. Just basic offensive football is to take what the defense gives you. If you fake to the running back, we've been running the ball pretty well on a 3rd down and 1 or a 2nd down and 1. Everybody's going to run to try to tackle the running back, and they're not going to think that McKay is going to run the ball. So that could be another big game, and that'll be something else that the defense has to account for. Now, here's the other thing that I think is real interesting, because it's something that Simmons said about SWAC teams for the most part, that they're built from the outside in, that they have really good skill players, but their line play is not as strong as it is in the MEAC. And I think within these next few games, there's a good possibility we're going to see that really, really, really come into play.
Speaking of McKay, I've got to be impressed about the fact, as I look at the stats here on our drive
He's
chart.
impressed with McKay. He's impressed.
I am. That's right. You heard me say I'm impressed with McKay from the standpoint that we only had 1 3 and out. We only had 1 3 and out in the entire ball game. That came in the early first drive of the second quarter. But everything else, we had drives, 10-play drives, 8, a couple of 7s. Yeah, we had a couple of 4s, but we scored on those 4 possessions. We scored on a couple of those. So, matriculating the ball downfield, keeping the drive alive. I see. I'm liking his game management skills. How about that? Does that sound nice and positive for everybody? Okay.
He's improving in that regard.
He is improving in that
better.
part.
You can go ahead and say it, Brian. He's getting better.
Yes, he is getting better. Yes, he is. Yes, he's getting better. Okay. I'm there. I said it. Now, hey, the guy that I feel like we discovered Isaiah Land. Look, the nation has now figured out Isaiah Land, right? But we were talking about Isaiah Land before anybody else, because once again, look, as impressive as he was against Alabama State, because that jumped off the page to me. This was a quiet, impressive performance by Isaiah Land. And I mean that because, yeah, we had Savion Williams coming back, and we already had the shutout the week before. But Isaiah Land with 5 sacks, a new FAMU single-game record. He had 8 total tackles. 5 of them were solo. He had 4.5 tackles for loss. All of those, the tackles for loss, the sacks, everything was an improvement from the week before. And so he earned SWAC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, well-deserved. And now he's leading the nation in sacks with 10. Not only in sacks, but in sack yardage and average. He's averaging 2 a game. Obviously 10, we played 5 games. But really, he's had, 8 now in the last 2 days? And he's going up against... Yes, and now he gets to eat. I mean, he's going to a buffet. I mean, like when I was a little heavier and used to go to the Chinese buffet, like my eyes would get big. He's going to Alabama A&M after they just gave up 10 sacks. He's got to be like, holy cow, I'm going to eat. What's your thought on the defense, Kelvin?
Well, you said it all. I'm running out of superlatives for them, man. What they're doing against FCS opponents and SWAC opponents and Fort Valley. I think about the 7 points we did give up, right, to those other 3 schools. And all of them was either penalty aided. One was, I remember, Jackson State jump ball, and then interference in the end zone. I believe Fort Valley was a turnover. I mean, nobody's really driving the ball up and down the field on this defense, with the one score that they're giving up. So we talk about the back end, our leading tacklers are our safeties and so forth. And we talk about Isaiah. So I'm going to give a little love to those backers because I thought they were missing a little bit against South Florida in the first half. But Fagan and those guys, man, they played a complete game. We shut
Showed up.
down South Carolina State run. He had an interception. He was very active on plays. So, and again, they're getting better. Like you said, we had Savian play his first game. They came back. He's came back. I don't think Gentle. I'm not sure if I saw Gentle this game. I don't know if he's back yet. So we still adding pieces, man, and I know what I sleep well at night. I'm ready for game day. I know what I'm getting from that side of the ball.
So true. So true. Kofi, real quick, what do you got?
Well, man, I just it's not people talk about the transfers from the other school in the SWAC, but man, Willie Simmons and his staff, Coach Simmons and his staff did an amazing job of accumulating talent on the defensive side of the ball. We have 8 Division I FBS players that are playing on our defense. That's over half of the defense. Even if you just go down and you just simply look at who we have, bro, that is Nadarius Fagan, Syracuse, Savion Williams, Tennessee, Lovey Jenkins, Louisville, Antoine Collier, UCF, Marquise Bell, Maryland, Stephon Atkinson, Western Kentucky, Deontay Williams, Florida State, Khalif Copeland, Indiana State. That does not include Demetrius Powell from Asa College in New York, Kendall Baller from Mercer, or Marjorie Brown from Albany State. Bro, this defense is stacked. And that does not even include some of the high school recruits that we've got or the second team. This team is really deep. And if they play up to their capability, we're going to be in really, really, really good shape.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Hey, and one of the things that we have to figure out a name for this defense. This defense, which had 8 3-and-outs in this ball game, 3 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. We've heard this is a great question for the folks out there watching us. We've heard everything from, now I heard Coach Simmons first call it the dark cloud defense, right? What was another name I heard? Gangrene?
Gangrene.
That's it right there. That gangrene. We can go with dark clouds.
They're gang. Yeah, I like that gangrene.
But
Willie,
I want you to
Simmons
listen to this now. Go ahead.
Huh? No, I'm just saying Coach Simmons called it the dark cloud defense. I
like dark clouds. It's scary when you see dark clouds to make you feel a certain kind of way.
Right. Right.
When you see dark clouds, it gets your attention.
I guess that's what these guys do.
Listen to this gangrene now. Gangrene is localized death and decomposition of body tissue, resulting from obstructed circulation or bacterial infection.
Jesus.
When gangrene sets in, the leg got amputated. It's the death of tissue. So when our defense comes on the field, it's literally like the death to your offense. It's cutting off the circulation of your offense. Your offense is not going to be able to flow the way that it wants to flow because of gangrene.
Well said. All right, so we'll put this up to a vote out there. I like that. We may just have to roll with gangrene.
This ain't no democracy. We ain't voting, boy. We in Florida too.
The gangrene defense. We are the number 5 scoring defense in the NCAA, only giving up 11 points per game, 11.8. Number 5 in the nation. Ahead of that other school out there in Mississippi, should be noted. All right, we're going to take a break and step away from the football field for a second. And coming up, we've got a special guest. We always want to try to get our Rattler coaches. And so our guest coach for this week is the head men's golf coach, Mike Rice. And we'll get a chance to talk to Coach about the team this year and some of the accomplishments that they had this past year coming out of the MEAC going into the SWAC. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone with Brian, Kelvin, and Kofi. We'll be back right after these words.
Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway, and joining us right now, the head coach of our men's golf program, Coach Mike Rice. Coach Rice, thanks for taking some time to join us this evening. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm awesome. How y'all? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're doing well. Thanks for coming in and joining us. Hey, so the season is already off to a start. We've already had a couple of tournaments. So give us and matter of fact, we just finished participating in the I'm looking at the schedule here, the Georgia State Invitational. So if you could maybe catch us up, let us know how the season got off to how the season started and share a little of the results from this past weekend's Invitational.
So we started, this is actually our second event. We started at HBCU Invitational, which also was in Atlanta. Young team, didn't play real well at the first event, but fortunately was leading after the first round, which was a good thing. But just being young and still trying to get some reps and get these guys, just college golf is different than junior golf. So we ended up finishing third in the HBCU Invitational, which was a good start. To be honest, I was kind of, you always want to win, but sometimes winning when you're not playing your best with a bunch of young guys could be, detrimental. And that, they think that it's, we can win without playing good, and we don't want that. We want them working hard. So, that was a good thing. This last weekend, a big event, big schools, big just good competition. I thought if we could finish somewhere in the middle of the pack, we would have done well. We didn't play well the first day, but played well the second and especially the last day, which was good to see all these young guys. So if we can do what we're doing the second and third rounds, I think we're going to be in a great spot SWAC time in April, and that's my push. That's my talk with the guys. It's not about right now. It's about when we get to championship time, and with this young team, we just want to continue to work and get better and develop these guys.
Yep, Coach. When I went back and looked at some of the scores from that invitational, the very first meet, it really looked like it wasn't so much what we didn't do. It just looked like a couple other schools just had like ridiculous days on day two, and it just kind of and they just jumped us,
Correct, and that was the thing. We didn't play bad. We just didn't play well. My focus with these guys is just especially being young is to make sure that we're grinding everything out and we're working for every shot. You never know at the end of the day what everybody else is doing. Even the team that won the tournament wasn't even in our group, so you don't know what's going on the golf course. So you just got to take care of what you can take care of. And so that's really been the big push is let's make sure that we're out there, we're grinding, we're earning every shot, and we just don't give up. And I think we've done a really good job in both events. Nobody's getting down. It's going to take it's a process to get there with these young guys, and they're buying in, and that's what we want.
Kelvin, what do you got?
Excuse me. So, Coach, I know you have a grad student. I believe you got 2 juniors, a sophomore, and then like 5 freshmen. So, talk about the whole process of how do you get this team. What's your plan for this team where they are now to be playing at a level you want them to play at in April? What does that look like?
Okay. Yeah, I mean you're right. We got one grad assistant, 5th-year guy that's still around. We have a sophomore and a junior that really have played minimal because the team that just graduated, we have all starting 5 just graduated. So even the guy, they've been around, they've seen the process, they see the way we work, the practice that we do, which is good because they've really turned into leaders of the team. But still don't have a lot of college experience because we had a group of 5 guys that really have traveled the last couple of years, really, to be the team. So, it's even getting those guys reps. This is their first year traveling and count towards the team. So when we you can look at it and say that there is 5 freshmen, but in reality, there's really 7 because they haven't traveled. And for good reasons. I mean, we've had the last 2 years have been something that's been special on campus. It's never happened. And so, cool that these guys have been able to be around that as well, so they know what that looks like. And so the big one is to make sure that we're developing, make sure that we're practicing. My big push on this team is that we work a lot of short games. So no matter what happens, we're always going to be in the game. If we can show up to a tournament and we can compete in the short area, we have a chance of competing with anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. But with these young guys, it's just getting the reps, and it's getting them under the tournament fire. I mean, that's really what it is. It's just different. You put a trophy on the line, everything changes. And so we just need to get them and keep them playing in these tournaments and get them the experience. And I'll say this, Roger, and you were up there on the hill for a long time with us. And I kept saying with the group that just graduated how special they were going to be. And, it was like, look, just give us years. I'm telling you, this group is special. This team right now is more talented than that team was. But it's just youth and just trying to get them the experience and maturity. I mean, it's so huge in any sport we play. There's a big difference between a freshman and a senior. I don't know how. It doesn't matter what you do. It's just getting them there. I think we'll compete now, no question, but I think in 2 or 3 years, we could have something even more special than what we had.
Kofi?
Awesome.
Great, man. I see you with your Nike gear on, Coach.
Always.
Yes, sir. How has that affected the recruitment? I want to say the branding of your program. Has it affected the recruitment and the branding of your program with the LeBron James contract? And yeah, that's my first question. But I wanted to talk a little bit also about what is your vision for this golf program? Where do you think we really and truly can be long term?
Awesome. I'll say this: the LeBron absolutely is trying. I mean, we know social media is crazy, right? These kids that we're looking at, this year coming in and the following year, they see that LeBron thing and they want to be a part of that, no question. So it has helped with recruiting. Have we seen the significance of it yet? Probably not. I think we may see it in a couple years what that really means. Hopefully at some point, LeBron's doing something in golf that could help too, with golf gear because he hasn't even tapped into that yet. So, who knows where that'll go. But look, these young guys love Nike. They don't. Under Armour, it's hard to sell Under Armour and Adidas. Let's just be honest. So, the Nike does help us in recruiting. I'll say this in the program. I think two things. I think we do it the right way. That's number one. HBCU golf and finding young black kids out there is not easy. There's not a lot, and that's one of the things that the sport is really working hard to, to change the way the sport looks. Let's just be honest. I mean, there's a lot of diversity and inclusion that we're doing that we've talked about for years, but it was all talk, and it's starting to change now. And people are really starting to do things, which is good. We have people behind us because I think we do it the right way and the way we look. They're supporting us. A new one is TaylorMade is now a sponsor of our golf team, which is huge. These guys have golf clubs and balls and gloves and the stuff they need to get better. Honestly, we've gotten TrackMan, which is a huge asset for recruiting. That's going to help this program. It's these young guys coming up or growing up with the technology. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. And TrackMan is the number one out there for us. As far as golf ways to teach. They call it. They think it's a game. They love it. But it's huge for us. And so program wise, I think. I honestly think we're going to do something special that's never been done. And our recruiting class next year, we had the number one, the lowest ranked black golfer in the country commit to FAMU. That's huge, especially when we were competing against big PWIs, and he decided to come here, and that's a great thing. So with what we have now, the talent now, with what we got going next year, got 2 kids to commit. That's unusual. Usually we're still recruiting way into next semester. And so we're in a position that I don't have to do that. That's a good thing. I'm trying to be done in November and focus on this year and know what's coming next year. So to say that, I think FAMU Golf is going to do something special. I'm telling you, I said it 4 years ago, and I'm saying I think we could do something crazy.
Awesome.
Coach, you mentioned it. You mentioned where I was wanting to go with my next question with recruiting. For those who aren't familiar, and I'm certainly one of them who includes, I'm not familiar with how collegiate golf and how and where you recruit from. What is your base? Obviously, I know there are a lot of high schools that do play golf. So, is it similar, or are you pulling people? Are you looking at the junior circuits? Where's your base or your area that you try to recruit from? And if you can mention the young man who's already recruited, let's go ahead and put his name out there so Rattler Nation can make sure we're following him and giving him some love his senior year.
So, there's a lot of, and like I said, it's hard because there aren't a lot of young black golfers. So we have to be strategic how we do it. And a lot of the ways that we do it is through our own golfers. these junior golfers, they know each other, and so it's real easy for me to ask, this kid. If he doesn't know him, that's probably somebody that there's a reason why he doesn't know. But also by traveling, we're looking at junior circuits, AJGA, whether it be the FSGA, which is the Florida. Every state has a junior association, and so AJGA is the biggest junior golf association in the world. They're worldwide, but they're a little more expensive to get into. So you can't just look at that, because again, being expensive, you may not find that kid, that gem. But we definitely got to be looking at junior tours. We're recruiting through our guys that are here now, through junior golfers that we're recruiting. You just got to be strategic. And the young man's name is a Florida kid. His name's Ian Davis, out of Howie in the Hills, and he's from a junior program and international. What is it? The IJGA, I believe, is the name of it. But he's a heck of a talent, and I'm telling you, this kid could be something special.
You said Ian Davis?
Ian Davis, correct.
All right, for sure. Yeah, we'll make sure to follow him. We'll get that Twitter handle and make sure all of a sudden he'll see his handle go up and say, "Well, all of a sudden I get all these followers from." Yeah, we'll make sure
That's
to
what
hit
we
him up and
want.
show him some love. Yeah, for sure.
Like I said,
Kelvin. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I was saying he's been on my radar for a while. Him and I created a relationship a long time ago, and I think he's a special kid. It's going to be. He just has great leadership personality. That I think in a couple of years he's going to be the guy leading this team. So I'm looking forward to him coming in next year.
Nice. Kelvin, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I remember us talking about some facility things and, how you thought you could leverage that to help your program. And then we had the new dorms at that time weren't completed yet, but they're now completed. So kind of just talk about that facility piece that we discussed and where it is and just how that and having the dorms and the facilities and the education and the FAMU brand. We got a lot going on, and how you were able to use that to further your program.
Yeah. Well, Calvin, when that all started, right? You remember me walking you down there to show you what the vision was. I don't know if you've been down there since.
Yes,
It's been pretty remarkable what the transformation has happened since that first, initial talk of what I thought could be what it is now. Facility wise, and I'll say this: I know there's no other HBCU in the country has what we have on campus, and I can tell you now they're trying to do what we do. And as a Rattler and an alum and a player at FAMU, we know we're the greatest university, but yet we have to lead that way as well. And so, as a golf program, there's so many people out there rooting for us to be successful. But it starts with the facilities and having the resources, and facility wise to have a 6,000 square foot artificial green on campus. I promise you, no other HBCU has that. To have a 165-yard area that we can work at that's lit up at night. Nobody else has that. We're eventually talking about making it a driving range on campus, which will be huge. So we have targets out there. So we actually practice 2 to 3 times a week on campus, and I promise you, no HBCU has that. So we're leading by example for sure. But that's huge. I'm telling you, it's with the dorms, like you said, the dorms being right there, the freshmen staying there, their backyard is a driving range. That's crazy. I remember being on campus thinking. I think now, like what if we had that then, but we do now. And so you'll see them drive by there at midnight. They may be out there practicing, which is, it really is huge in the development of these young guys. And having TaylorMade back us, and just it's crazy, man, how far this program's come in the last few years. But I'm excited. I get to watch it every day, so I love it.
Hey, this is brand new to me. I'm gonna admit and sort of tell on myself. I'm like, I didn't know all this was going on back there. Kelvin, you've been holding back. You're supposed to be back there taking some pictures and dropping this on Facebook, man, so that we can see these sites. Coach, you put us on to something. We got to get some photos posted because I was just bouncing around. I didn't see it where it probably should
Right.
be. So I'm just gonna say that we need to go ahead and get some pictures put out there.
And
So
and
that so
and to
that
say it's recently been finished. Let's say that. I just need to let you
okay.
know that. So it's taken time to get where we're at. When we started out, Kelvin will tell you, it was a field of clay. And then when the dorms were fixed, it really was a mud pile of clay that we were working at. But after we finally got everything finished with the dorms, we've now gone in and put irrigation in. We've put Bermuda grass. Still not quite fully grown into where we want to cut it where we want it. But we got mats and a green, and I mean it's and then eventually putting up the poles, which is going to be even better, and hopefully to even where we can allow the students to use them as well. We can introduce the game more to students. It's kind of funny because I was doing ESPN's on campus with the football team, and I teach the golf class on campus as well. Well, they came out to do a little segment with the football team, and one of the guys, the producer, is a golfer. He happened to be doing something at the dorm, so don't think you're the only one that doesn't know about it. And he looked over and he's like, "That looks like a green." So he comes walking over and he's a golfer. He's here for 2 months and he's like, now I got somewhere to do a little golf. So it is kind of hidden, but more so, we just haven't quite finished it yet. It's perfect for us right now, but to be able to use it with the students and even faculty and alum, we're not quite there yet, but it's coming.
All right, well, Coach, when you get there and you're ready for us to make a big deal about it, when you're ready to have that golf invitational or that putting and driving competition, you let us know. We'll come out. I'll
Absolutely.
drive. I'm in Orlando. Kofi's in Jacksonville. We'll be there. We'll bring the show, and we'll do it big. We'll celebrate everything that's going on. All right. All you got to do is let us know.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Coach, let us know. Wrap it up with us, Coach, and let us know about your next tournament. I think you're off this weekend, and you got a next weekend tournament. And just let people know where can they reach out to you when you guys are on the road, and if they want to come and support, whether it be with some meals or whatever, just however they can come support the program. Let the people know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, we're all for a week, so we'll be working to get ready to travel and heading to Gulf Shores, which is an HBCU event. Should be a good one, really good golf course. We played there last few years. Excited. I think we really have a good chance of winning the tournament, and that's the goal at the end of the day. But obviously, at any tournament we're at, we see the FAMU support. They come out. They were out in Atlanta, out watching the guys, which was awesome. But with golf, there's no tickets needed. There's nothing to that. You literally just show up and you're welcome to walk and watch. And look, we want our kids meeting alumni. So if you can come out, we'll make sure you get a chance to meet them and talk with them. And then obviously, the one thing with us, the big is, just on golf courses, making sure these kids have snacks and water and obviously alumni, helping support that is huge. If not, I'm gonna make sure they have it, whether it comes out of, however we get it, we're gonna make sure that they're fed and they got water in them. But we'd love to, obviously having family support is huge. The guys would love to have everybody out. After that, then I think we have another couple weeks off, and then we'll be at Alabama A&M in Huntsville, and then we end with the SWAC roundup, which will be the first time that we've gotten together in history to play in the SWAC roundup. That they do one in the fall and one in the spring. That we get a chance to see where we stack up against the SWAC, and I'm super excited about that because we're trying to win another championship. We won the last MEAC Now we're trying to win the SWAC. So please do come out and support that.
Gotcha. And we definitely want to have you back on right before that SWAC tournament. So we'll make sure to circle that on the calendar, and either myself or Kelvin, we'll definitely reach out and try to get that circles before we get you on before that. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Well, thanks again. Coach Mike Rice, you guys make sure to follow the program. I believe the Twitter handle is at FAMU Golf, or it's either FAMU_golf. I'm not really sure. I should know that. I apologize for not knowing exactly which one it is. But I'll make sure to get it here after the break. I'll get it right after the break. So, Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate you taking time. And good luck to your guys. And we definitely will be following along this year. All right?
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all having us.
All right. We're going to take a short break and come back. You're watching the
Kelvin,
O&G Strike Zone. We'll be back right after these words.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin.
Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU. HBCU League Pass. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Mr. Ted Dixie, who the play-by-play voice of Alabama A&M Bulldogs radio. Ted, how you doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm doing quite well. Happy to be here. Hello, everyone. Let's get it,
All right.
man.
Yeah, well, we like to bring on our upcoming opponents to kind of let Rattler Nation kind of get a feel firsthand from people who are in the know with what's going on with the upcoming opponent. We understand it was a tough weekend for y'all, homecoming weekend. Give us a sense as best as you can of that day from the I'm sure everyone woke up with great spirits in the morning, and then it was kind of just homecoming festivities hopefully weren't ruined in the evening.
Oh, no. Without a doubt, Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University is way more than just the homecoming football game when it comes to homecoming. I will say we have the best tailgate in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the most competitive conference in the football championship subdivision. Welcome to the conference for Florida Agriculture and Mechanical. Is that what it is, A&M University?
Yes,
FAMU. I went to Tuskegee
yes,
undergrad, so I know FAM very well. And when I was a child, I actually saw Greg Coleman play at Tuskegee in college, and he was punting, warming up before the game. And he punted the ball not in a space of 5 yards apart. Every ball, about 45 yards at that. At any rate, well, man, somebody puts a Roger Maris up on you, bruh. Being a broadcaster, you got to sit through all of it. I don't get to pick and choose. I can't see, during the game, I'm like, well, this score is going to empty the stadium, but some people are still here. This score is going to empty this score. That game is disappointing, no doubt. Coach Maynor and his team, coaches, are disappointed. But we're not out of the Eastern Division race. So when you think about what has to happen during the season, and in the SWAC, someone always comes back to the pack. There's always an upset. Get ready for it. There's always, this will be easy, and then, uh-oh. So, you got to play them all. And that's why you line up to play.
Yeah.
For sure. We got a chance to talk at the Gulf Coast Challenge, so I didn't really get a chance to kind of dig too deep and ask, how many years you have been calling games, but in your years of calling games for Alabama A&M, was Saturday one of the toughest games to call?
I've had several. I've had several good games. I've had several bad games. As I tell folks, it's hard to sell chicken salad when it's not made of chicken. But even then, thank you. Now everybody's getting the jokes. Anyway, but even then, as a broadcaster, my idols were Brian Gumbel, and of course, a long-time 44-year voice here for the Bulldogs, Ike Rooks. And having enough information, knowledge, and history and other points of interest for a broadcast. It's not just down and distance. It's not just score. I get to talk about the marching maroon and white, talk about our retiring president, Dr. Andrew Hougini Jr., our incoming president, Dr. Daniel Wims, our athletics director, Brian Hicks, who's done a fabulous job since he's been here. And now I get to talk about Mr. Willis Mumbai, who is the coach of the Southwestern Athletic Conference men's tennis team champion, Alabama A&M University Bulldogs. So, you talk about a game coming up and you want to pick my brain with it. Well, you'll be like every other coach, and it's been 2 weeks in a row, a continuing trend of turnovers and then dejection now, the thing that's in front of a team. When you start off with very high expectations and they come crashing down, you think you got to reassess what you're doing. Student athletes, and we told them since the spring, and this is since 2014, being the play-by-play announcer, you have to do more the next year because everyone's gunning for you. So if you take a week off, or if you're doing the same things that you did the last season when you won, you're setting yourself up to get beat because you have to do more now because everyone else is looking to do more against you.
Kelvin, what do you got?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry you were going to finish, Ted. I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I just keep it rolling. Yeah, just wait. You want me to stop? So,
Kelvin, go ahead. Jump in there.
So Ted, so you had 2 losses now. As you mentioned, the Bulldogs were expected to contend for the championship. It was a pretty good whooping last week. What is the mindset and mentality that you gather right now of the teams and coaches and then other fans? And what are they? Do you sense any difference in expectations for this Saturday?
So, let's go backwards. Let's start with the fans. Sit down. My dog is all in the way. Let's start with the fans first. We hadn't won a SWAC football championship since 2006. So our fans, even with the spring and COVID and all that, the number of games played, you want to schedule a game, it gets canceled. Try to reschedule, it gets canceled. We did what we had to do. You beat the people who are in front of you. And so you get a championship, but our fan base is probably everyone is. It's like a little odd because we didn't have a home game in the spring. So the fans couldn't really celebrate. They couldn't see it. It was always on TV or someone else's broadcast. So they'd miss that at home. You come to this season, so it's still new. At the ring ceremony, well, we didn't have the general public there. It was only the student athletes because of COVID concerns. And some people complain about that, but guess what? If you want to be the person who's in charge making the decision and one person dies, then how are you going to wear that? Anyway, so now after last week, it had been building up, and some people made the comment that we were just out of sync. It just felt wrong. And I asked Coach on Tuesday night at 6 o'clock on 90.9 FM WJB, Bulldog Talk with head coach Connell Maynor, and also on the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor, Sunday nights, Channel 54 WGDX in Huntsville. Big ups to Mo Carter, who went Southern grad, played football there, who's the head sportscaster. And then also we posted on YouTube under Alabama A&M Athletics. Please like, subscribe, and, get down with it and comment if you'd like. But you know what? I'll say this. The big concern this week for me, and it's always been on the schedule. I'm not playing. We can look ahead. I'm not coaching. We can always look ahead. Our former head coach, James Spady, is on this staff we face this week. He knows some of the student athletes. He recruited and signed Aquill Glass. Got Aquill as a starter here at the on the hill. And Spady, I'll say this, and no one's going to believe me, but you go ahead and look it up. Anthony Jones was head coach at Alabama A&M. We went down to Grambling. I think we were 7-1. We thought we might have had something. And Spady was the offensive coordinator at Grambling. Let me tell you something. He ran us out of the building. It was like, I looked up, it was 28-7, like early in the second quarter. Now, this is what he did. This is why I call him a genius. I've never seen the stacked receiver sets. You got doubles out here on the outside, and the receivers are lined up. The first time I saw that was at Grambling with Spady coaching the offense. I watch a lot of football, grew up around football, history of football, blah, 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 blah. I'd never seen that formation before, and I dare anyone else to say that they had who's not been a coach. So I went on the internet, going to look it up. There's a book at the time. Bob Davey wrote a book, used to be an NBC broadcaster. His book was all like 400 pages, maybe 500 pages long. For me to find that formation, I just kept looking just to see maybe if it's here. I found the formation, and dude, I was like, this tests the rules that a defensive back is taught about who to cover. Just like when you see the bunch three out wide and they throw the now screen or a tunnel or a bubble, you're trying to keep up with that. And Spady, man, dude, somebody get beat up like that 28-7, and then you start when the score gets out of hand, then you can start paying attention to the movement of the offensive line, the movement of the receivers. Very well in sync, and a very intense dude. So I called him this summer, playing around with him a little bit. When I work with someone that close and early on a Sunday morning, and you got to go through a TV show and a radio show, you're having a losing season, everybody starts to question themselves. Everybody. I was wondering, was I saying the right things on the radio? Am I the cause of it? But Coach is very intense. And that has been passed on to his son, who's a starting center, Jalen. So I've asked our defensive coaches about him and what they see. They said, yeah, he's nasty, but the kid next to him, number 77, is nasty too. And I know Coach is going to be intense and do a little extra talking. And then that Friday night at the team meeting before, they go to bed, Spady will probably speak. This is his first trip back to Huntsville since he left Huntsville.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be a good one. We got another challenge in front of us, even with Coach Sanders. You know, as I tell people on social media, okay, it's a rivalry now. Now it's a rivalry. Sanders got on the board, and the Jackson State folks don't start paying attention. They will end up not winning the East or getting to the championship game and not winning that. But the pressure they're putting on themselves is to win the Celebration Bowl.
Yep. Well said. Kofi, what do you got?
Man, this is I grew up obviously a Rattler, and I remember our games against Alabama A&M quite fondly. In fact, the one that hurt me the very most, last one in 1979, because that was the game that kept FAMU out of the playoffs and from actually going back to be able to repeat. This was after FAMU had beaten the University of Miami and was coming into Huntsville quite confident, feeling, but we had a few injuries, but still losing that game was a dagger like nothing else. And so once FAMU got back into the SWAC, I knew that the rivalries with the Alabama schools were going to really, really, really take off. And I think I can't wait until 2 or 3 years down the line when we are having 25, 30,000 people in the stadium to come and watch these games, man. So I wanted to get your thoughts on the rivalry between Florida A&M and Alabama A&M.
In the network of broadcasters that we have, I like to say I'm the best. And I like to say knowing history is pretty good. Some of that I watched up close. Now, I might be wrong, but I thought FAMU repeated going to the finals after they won the national championship. And where this comes from is FAMU used to be a member of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, the oldest HBCU conference. Tuskegee, one time you looked in Jet Magazine, if you ever looked at the basketball standings, there were like 30 schools in there sometime when everybody was getting in. But that's where the FAM and Tuskegee rivalry comes from. As I said, I was at a Tuskegee game with my parents as a little boy, and I saw Greg Coleman. Then when I saw him on TV punting for the Vikings, rather, you know, for me, it's no big deal about going to an HBCU, going to the NFL, because I've known people that did it. I know people who went to the CFL. Barry Wagner from Alabama A&M is considered the greatest arena football league player in history. So it's for us to get back with you, and I mentioned earlier that I went to Tuskegee, so I've got a little bit of FAMU interest and been down there when it's humid as all get out, and all those folks are there. You can look online and see what homecoming and other games are like. Yeah, you know, attendance. The Southwestern Athletic Conference leads the football championship subdivision in attendance. When discussions are held in probably 3 or 4 years about the SWAC joining another FCS conference to make a super conference, because we have attendance and we would like to go see these games played. You know, if we're going to get 40,000, we also are part, Alabama A&M is part of the largest HBCU Classic. I don't care what they talk about at the Bayou Classic. We set the record because we count the number of people in the building. They count tickets. And you look on TV and tell it wasn't the number that they claimed it was in the Superdome. You know, who you fooling, dog? Come on. I guess we're going to go like that. We'll go like that. So let me go hard now. The Rattlers, and y'all won the last national championship before we won one, right? So we're the two, you might say, last two best programs. Everybody else is trying to figure out who it is now. We did the pre-COVID, recover, during COVID, now after COVID. And Willie Simmons now, we know Coach Simmons from Prairie View. And he's a great offensive mind. Great offensive mind. You do a lot in Texas when you can pay assistants more money. And that's something else that every school is going to have to assess. You know, people come and poach your coaching staff when you're good if you don't pay them. So, got to pay them. But it's going to be good, man. I mean, is the Marching 100 coming? That's the real question I have out of anything else.
Unfortunately,
oh, man.
Athletics, unfortunately, it's a no. Unless there's a miracle within these last couple of days, it's a no. Which really stinks because I used to march in the band at FAMU. So we were really looking forward. People looking forward.
What?
It was on the schedule for the 100 to be there, and they got a call last week saying that they weren't going to do it. So
Well, I'm gonna take a shot at DeSantis. Maybe he got everybody feeling like they don't need to cross the line or something. Look here, man. I help all these people out. When you're selling HBCU football, you're selling the pageantry. Ask those Spady about it. We
I
should talk
agree.
about it on Between the Lines with James Spady. ESPN, y'all wouldn't show the games, and they should tell them bold-faced stories that we can't get it, the music approved, and we don't want to pay, blah, 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 blah. Y'all do it for all other shows. You tell me Jay-Z and Beyonce wouldn't just say, hey, man, go play our joint. You can play it, son. You think nobody's going to do that the way we're getting attention? See, I can go ham now.
Right.
See, y'all got that going. So look, we're going to have to learn. And before people try to say, well, Deion Sanders and what he's doing, hey, dog, we've been doing this. Now, he did bring attention that we normally did not get. I won't lie about that. I'd never heard Stephen A. Smith say nothing about the SWAC on that show. And he went to, where did he go, Winston-Salem State?
Winston-Salem State?
Yes.
Yeah. Never say nothing. Now you want to say something? Don't need your help now, dog. We'll go ahead and build it later. And my big fallacy here, since we're on a roll, I'm on a roll, bro. Since our biggest fallacy as a conference, is that we tied ourselves to ESPN too much. Now, I'll tell you what can happen right now. Right now, and won't nobody understand it, but I can say this right now. If the Marching 100, which did a show in your stadium at halftime, people would watch it. If you broadcasted and showed it on YouTube Live and made people buy subscriptions, the band heads would buy it. We bought that sorry fight this weekend. I don't care. My homeboy Deontay got crushed, man. Or you fighting. We act like man, it's a bad weekend for Alabama. Y'all ask me how I feel. I'm finna let it go because I feel like y'all are my therapist.
That's all right. Yeah, it was. Hey, look, we talked about that on another show. It was a bad day for Alabama. I think across the board. I don't know who. Maybe only
Bama
one
State
school.
won.
Who?
Bama State won.
Homecoming.
Yes,
Bama
yes,
State.
that was it. Bama State, their homecoming. That was about it.
And now, so okay, let's segue and get back serious. So there can be a three-way tie in the Eastern Division. And then y'all gonna get welcome to how the SWAC does business. I guess I'll never work.
Explain that. Explain the tiebreaker because one of our. It's funny you bring this up because one of our commenters asked about it.
I can't explain it. Don't even try it. I can't explain it because this is what the scenario would be. Coach gave it to me right. Bama State beats Jackson State. We beat Bama State. Jackson State beat us. And we went out. And Jackson State loses the games they got to lose. And Bama State loses. So we all got to have 2 losses in the conference. Then we're tied. Now, they go all the way down. I think there's a coin toss mentioned. But see, we started questioning the tiebreaker in the spring because of the records of Pine Bluff and us. Pine Bluff playing one more game, both undefeated. We had games canceled. Where would the SWAC championship game be played? Because it's supposed to be at the home of the highest ranked team.
Right.
Well, with the argument, people, you didn't play this many games. Look, dog, it ain't our fault that folks couldn't follow the COVID guidelines. Or when we tried to reschedule people, they were like, nah, we won't do it. And to me, it was almost like conspiracy. Yeah, I said it. Hey, man, don't y'all play. But what really happened was the folks in Arkansas, Pine Bluff, good people. I actually like going to Pine Bluff. Looking at Torrey Hunter and when he spent the money to give the high school a playing surface, I love going to Pine Bluff. But we went to Jackson. Now, Jackson State folks talk noise. Y'all beat us this year, which means you made a rivalry. You and, Maynard and Sanders are 1-1 now. But we won the championship on your field and beat you on your field. You might be tired of us. Why don't we just switch stadiums? Anyway, so Saturday, though, bro, we're going to see some more football. The SWAC, I keep saying, it's the most competitive conference in the subdivision. If the schools would up the budgets or if we found ways to get revenue. Now, I'll tell you this. The Magic City Classic, this is the last year of that contract, I believe. Each school is going to get somewhere around $600,000-$700,000. Now, I don't know what happens with paying for the hotels. I don't think we pay the hotels. I think all that compensation just comes to the schools. But for the economic impact that we bring to that city, that game should be paid out like a bowl game. We should get $1.5 million and not pay for a hotel room for no one in our whole entourage. Because they're probably going to pull $14 million. Now that means we got to go out and get some more sponsors. And the Bruno's company owns the game, but if they play, all you got to do is play home and home. Who was it, like Alcorn and Jackson did? Play home and home, and then get them to go ahead and up the money. Because when they miss it 2 years in a row, then people start complaining. But why they complain? Well, they complain because it's not for the 5 games that you're going to play at home. That's your revenue. They start complaining for that hotel revenue because most of the counties will have a hotel tax and try to increase it. Hear me now. They'll increase it and let the hotels increase the rates when we come to town. So, I'm tired of being fooled. I went to Columbia Business School, bro. I can look at the statements. We can go back through history and look at attendance when people say how many folks were there, and I know what my eyes tell me when we go somewhere. The CIAA had problems with folks raising hotel rates. In a minute, man, we're going to stop all this. In a minute. But we can do it with football. If Coach Sanders is going to tell these kids to come to Jackson State, and we've been to their stadium a lot, we look at their facilities, what they got going on. And if a suit and a trailer truck are going to be the difference, and I'm telling y'all it's not, you're going to find out one day probably what it is. But these kids are looking for money. Some of them coming from those Power 5 conferences. We got a couple too. D. Anderson from LSU, who's probably leads the conference in touchdown receptions. I know he had 7, 8. I think he has 8 now. But, dude, we can do it. But if we stop letting other people be responsible for our publicity, for our decision of how to send it. I mean, why don't we have a season pass subscription to HBCU football? Y'all are doing something. Heritage Sports Radio Network has been in this game for a long time. They're on Sirius XM. We got some room to grow, man. We got some things we can do. The internet changed the game and changed the world. So instead of us going to Netflix, or maybe we should. Maybe we should sell our product to Netflix and make them invest in putting the equipment and the personnel to do it in our stadiums. Jackson State gets 30-some thousand folks at a game. First time I went there, I was like, wow. This is an HBCU game. Now, we played at Vanderbilt, Auburn, Cincinnati, Georgia Tech, Coastal Carolina, UAB, South Alabama, some of the schools in the conference, and I put that all on Brian Hicks because Coach Hicks has relationships. His phone rings to play games. He doesn't have to call around begging for a game. So we all didn't play for 10 games this year because we were supposed to open UAB's new stadium for them and give them the largest crowd they would ever have in their history. The top 2 games are against us at Legion Field, like almost 50,000 folks. We're the draw.
Yeah, for sure. Ted, I love your energy and spirit. Let's get out of here with this. Alabama A&M will win the game if they do this.
That's an easy one. Not turn the ball over. I can't tell you what we'll do without turning the ball over. We've been turning the ball over, man. I call that donating the game when you have that many turnovers. But I tell you what, I'll tell you how good we even turn the ball over as many times as we did in the last 2 weeks. Man, I can't even remember the game. But we had a chance to win it in the last 2 minutes. So
is turning the ball over, do you feel that is bigger than, say, the offensive line protection of glass? Would you rate the turnovers higher than the line and being able to prevent, given what's happened the last couple of weeks? Or is one a product of the other?
Line play or blocking for a particular play can be taught. You can get up there on that sled. You can figure out how to block it. You can go max protect. You can send just 2 people out in the pattern. Shoot, you can send just one. They're fast enough and beat the zone defense. We'll see it every week. Dude just runs a streak down the field. But the turnovers, what do coaches always say? Stop the run the ball, stop the run, win the turnover battle. That's what they say in the NFL. Colleges just haven't learned until it scores like 36-34. And even then, everybody wants to stand back and throw the ball. For us, you got to get an attitude back for the offensive line. That comes from running the football. It does not come from 3-step drops. You got to back those guys up off the line. You got to make them slow down. You got to hit them in the face. You got to give them a wham a couple of times and make that dude keep looking. Be a little ginger stepping. When Jackson State could tee off on us, when Grambling could tee off on us, Man, please. It's a long day, bro. Oh, wait a minute. I got one thing to show you, baby. This is what happens when Ric Flair says, I'm coming to town. And he puts, you see that, baby? You see that, baby? Now, he's the 16-time world heavyweight champion. So that just means you can win him, but he's won it 16 times, bro. Conor Maynard has 18 championship rings as a player, collegiate player, pro in Arena League, and as a coach. We can win. We get it back right. I'll say this, though. Jackson State is a huge football team. They've always been big, and they're big now. One of our coaches, Chris Schelling, played at Auburn. He said, Ted, those are grown men over there. And that's what I say. Shador, and I gave him props on the broadcast. He's a 70% passer. God bless you. Keep it going, young man. But you know what? We got to win the East and then win the conference. But we got games left. But, hey, thank y'all. Happy to be here. Love to come back again. You know, I'll get a show, too, and then we can really chop it up. But on my show, we're going to drink some beer.
Hey, well.
Let's do it.
Look, let's do it. Let's do it. Hey,
God bless y'all. Be strong.
You let us know how big that gangrene defense looks when you see them in comparison to Jackson State. All right, you let us know afterwards. All right. Hey, Ted, appreciate your time. Yeah, appreciate your time. Love your spirit and energy. God bless. Be well. Thank you. Hey, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after these words. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone.
Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, and Kofi here. Great set of interviews. If you happen to miss them, we will post them up later. You'll get a chance to, whether it's listen to them on our BCSN Pod Zone, or you go back and listen to them on YouTube. You can also download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Go to your Google or Apple Play Store. Just search My JBN or My BCSN, and you can catch any of our interviews, our show in its entirety, anytime you like. Let me give a few shout outs because we've been going and going and going and haven't had a chance to really shout out some of the people watching us. Mary 305 always checks in. Mary, we good to have you in this evening. Glad she made it in, and she's got sounds like she got some family in Huntsville, Alabama. That's going to be just giving a heads up to some people to watch out. Rattler Nation's coming to Huntsville for it's a 1 p.m. look. We're going from Eastern to Central time, so it's a 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central kickoff. Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but hopefully it's not Florida hot at that time of the day.
It won't be. It'll be a little cooler. You get some nice fall breeze. It's gonna the altitude's a little higher because they're up in the mountains almost.
Right. Also, Joe King, Larry Smith, Sermon, couple of the Rattlers who are in there. EA he was telling me, Kofi, he was telling me that he was kind of glad that I wasn't in the 100 with you back in the day. Like I wouldn't have made it. I did play a mean trumpet back in the day. I even played the tuba, the sousaphone, for a year. I don't know. I was inspired by the 100. So who knows? I might have worked my way up into actually being worth something had I stuck with it in my last 2 years, but
I'm going to say, my brother, it was a totally different time than what we have now. So
yes. And I was coming from a little
that's all I'm gonna
private
say about that. Amen.
Look, I was coming from a little private school where it was I had to learn how to play Freaky Tales on my own. There wasn't nobody showing us how to do it. So I probably would have struggled. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a good thing for you, sir.
I would have. I would have tapped out probably about the first week. If I had made it the first day. Yeah, there you go. That sounds a little more accurate.
Right.
Yeah, any other if I missed any other shout outs, we appreciate you. Make sure you give us a thumbs up or like out there. One of the things that I in talking with as we were talking to Ted and Kofi, you kind of brought this up. The last time that these two schools met was 1979. FAMU actually holds a 13-2 overall winning record against Alabama A&M, but unfortunately, 79 was the last time that the two schools played, and we did lose that contest 19-14. It actually was the third loss in a row that year. We had started the year off
Tennessee State, Tuskegee, and god darn Alabama. Ooh, Jesus, that game made bad. Alabama A&M, and then we went down there to Tampa and played Cookman, and we were up like 18 to something, and Cookman came back and won the darn game. That was just
lost 25-20 to Cookman. We played now at the end of the season. We played. I don't know if we had Rhode Island. I don't know what that
beat
was.
Them.
That was a regular season contest.
We beat them.
That was okay. Yeah, that was
that Florida Speed. Contest. They weren't ready. That was a whole different, after the Florida Classic. Yeah. But we had an opportunity, bro. Had we remained healthy. But that goes back to everything that we're seeing now with this football team. And let me just say that the nutrition program that the kids are doing right now is helping them tremendously. Isaiah Land was able to put on at least an additional 15 pounds, I think.
Well, he said he came into FAMU
over the last couple of years.
Well, I heard
So
Coach Simmons say he was 180 in high school senior year, and now he's at 215.
yeah, bro, that's a big deal, and he's playing quite well. But bro, I'm like, this defense, bro. I am interested to see because I feel like we're in competition with Jackson State's defense.
Yeah.
Because they play Alabama State and
Yep.
we play Alabama A&M. So we'll get to see a direct comparison of and they're playing Alabama State at home. Just like we
Yes.
played them, but we're playing A&M on the road. So we'll have an
Just like they did.
opportunity to see specifically how our teams or how our defenses are playing, how we're matching up.
That's a good point that you bring up because, obviously with both teams being so similar in terms of, in the country scoring defense, FAMU is coming in ranked 5th in scoring defense, averaging 11.8. Jackson State is 7th, averaging 13.2. So, we've actually given up, I think, more touchdowns than State, but our points, they've given up more field goals than us. And I think that's where the discrepancy is in the point totals, is they've given up quite a few more field goals. But anyway, we're coming in higher. And like you said, Jackson State is going to be looking at what we did, saying, hey, fam, you got a shutout. We can't let Alabama State score. And especially what they did to Coach. Must be the money. I mean, come on. That in itself is the revenge tour is on for Jackson State, without a doubt. And for us, Jackson State got 10 sacks. So look, how many we're looking like, okay, we're coming in with the nation's #1 sack leader. We better get at least somewhere close to, can we get the 8? Can we get the Aquil Glass 8 times? I know that's, and we've got, as was mentioned, Coach James Spady, who's been in the program since 2018. He was at Alabama A&M. He was the head coach from 2014 to 2017. And this is his first trip back to Alabama A&M. So there's going to be some juice and venom. And I thought Ted set that up perfectly. You can best believe, I'm sure, there will be a Coach Spady moment where he gets to address the team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if any of you recall how it ended, but I gotta imagine it didn't end on the best of terms at Alabama A&M. So, the revenge tour this Saturday is alive and well. Hey, let's transition for a second, guys, over to our Lady Rattlers. We hyped this up a little bit, and we've kept the eye on them, as this past weekend the ladies played 3 games in 2 days, winning all 3 games in impressive format, all 3-0. And this now makes the 5th consecutive sweep to a SWAC opponent, as we defeated Prairie View on Sunday morning, Alcorn State Sunday evening, and then on Monday afternoon defeated Southern, all by scores of 3-0. I'm convinced, Kelvin, somebody must have spiked our food when we went to Jackson State. I need some explanation on how we lost.
They cheated.
I'm smelling something fishy. I need to go back and watch the film on how I don't understand. Somebody tell me something. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it. But anyway, we had some players.
Brian, I just jump in here right quick and say that.
Go ahead, please.
Jackson State, I believe they 7-0 right now, and then I think right behind them, Alabama State, which we haven't faced. So I'm waiting for us to. I think we faced them this weekend, and then so I'm waiting for us to face them. But I have the utmost confidence in our team and our coaches, and I can't wait.
I was trying to look online to find out where the SWAC volleyball tournament is. Does anybody know?
I'll figure it out coming out of the break. I would imagine it's in Birmingham. Usually they're going to keep most of those events close to home headquarters. But we'll check it out coming up out of the next break and be able to tell you. But yeah, you mentioned Jackson State, Kelvin. They have won. Let's see. They went unbeaten last spring or this past spring, 9-0. Now, so that's a 16-game winning streak in conference play. And so, yeah, this Sunday, our Lady Rattlers are hosting Alabama State at the Lawson Center, Sunday, 3 o'clock. That game will probably be streamed on the FAMU Athletics Facebook feed as it was this past weekend. And then Alabama A&M, they'll play Monday evening at the Lawson Center, 6 p.m. So that's an impressive run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're in the middle of a 7-game homestand. And then, when it wraps up on October 25th with Jackson State. I may have to make a trip to Tallahassee that weekend. That's homecoming week too. I may have to find a way up to Lawson on that day. I'm just going to circle my calendar for that. A bit of news. Let's see. I think we had a couple of ladies that made the SWAC honors. Yes, we did. The setter of the week was Iram Ukhar, as she had 106 assists over the weekend against Prairie View, Alcorn, and Southern. So she back where she belongs. But yeah, this contest coming up against Alabama State is going to be pretty good. Alabama State has had a good program and had a good team over the last couple of years. Probably a little bit longer, but at least as long as I've been paying the last couple of years. Let's catch up on the breaks, fellas. Take a break. Come back. We're going to talk about what happened in the SWAC, what's going on in the SWAC this weekend, and then a little bit later we get to our predictions for this upcoming game. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody.
Sorry. Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more. But it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway. We appreciate you following us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at O&G Strike Zone. And send us a note, any email questions that you want to send the show, ONGStrikeZone@gmail.com. I got it. Kofi, you got some information regarding the SWAC volleyball tournament, right?
Yes, the SWAC volleyball tournament is going to be in Huntsville, Alabama, November the 19th through the 21st. That's November the 19th through the 21st on the campus of Alabama A&M University in Huntsville, Alabama.
All right, so that'll be good. That's a weekend in November. It's probably the weekend before
Florida Classic weekend.
Oh my goodness. Oh well.
Yeah.
Gotta handle our business.
Well, yeah. Well, hey, look,
Gotta handle our business. And that's
hopefully it's
classic
streamed.
weekend that's gonna be Alcorn Jackson State weekend too. So Jackson State won't have a whole bunch of people there either.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. You were very you did a good job there, Kofi. When the question regarding the 100 came up, you were quite reserved. You kind of did a good job there as terms as the 100 not traveling and the reasons why. We don't have to go into details, but it was on the schedule. We'll just say it is disappointing. It's disappointing that the 100 will not be traveling. I think for all parties.
I want to take an opportunity to talk to that for a minute, because one of the things that needs to happen, when people ask about the 100 going, normally for a day trip, it's like at least for a 200. Now, this is not the days when we had 400 people and stuff in the band, but the band is at 275, I believe, currently. So really, you're talking about basically 300 people. So that's $30,000 for a day trip. $30,000 a day. You got to pay for buses. You have to pay for the drivers. You have to pay for 3 meals a day for the band, and you also have to pay potentially for a hotel room. What needs to happen now is that there needs to be a Marching 100 booster organization that helps to defray some of the travel costs and raise money for scholarships. That is the thing that I think is really no. Now, the Marching 100 Alumni Band Association helps students, and they help to provide water. They help to provide a number of different things for the students, but it's we want to help to boost it, but that's more geared towards the Marching 100 alumni, the people that have actually marched in the band. And that's pretty much the message that comes from the Marching 100 alumni. That's not to kill it. There are people that are in the Alumni Band Association that are not a part of the marching band or any of that. They actually just love the band so much that they want to give. That being said, what needs to happen is the 100 needs a separate booster organization that will be focused on making sure that the 100's at all of the away games, and they want to be able to provide additional sponsorships and money for scholarships.
So you can be a part of the. If I wasn't in the band, but I love the band. I love music. I can be a part of what?
The Marching 100 alumni band will accept your money.
As a alum of FAMU or just anybody?
Yes, they will accept you as a member. If you pay your dues and you're doing stuff, don't quote me on that. But they will accept your money. They will accept your money, and that's a way that you can help, the band program. But by and large, there needs to be a totally separate that has different minds, and really can help it. Somebody just asked, can I talk about how the 100 is doing this year? I would say that who said that? Dwayne Sweet. The 100 is doing great. I think Dwayne Sweet asked that question.
Yes, he did.
The 100 is doing absolutely phenomenal. Now, field-wise, I think right now they're definitely number one. I haven't seen a better show from any other band this year. That being said, the stand performances, they have a ton of music that they are playing more. Now, the weakness of the band is when they play. They've got to get in a better flow with the flow of the game. They've got to play or do a better job of getting in and playing during the flow of the game. If they do that, bro, it'll be Katie bar the door. Now, I do have I have to say that the flag court has even improved. I'm seeing the pregame stuff beginning to come back into formation, but there's still obviously some measure of building and perfecting, but they are growing and they are improving. And I just think that, yes, the performances have been pretty consistent all year long. I'm proud of this group. Definitely proud of this group. And now they've got an extra couple of weeks to prepare. So homecoming show should be great. They got Southern coming up too. So they're going to be really fired up about that. And then they've got the Florida Classic. So that's going to be amazing as well. And I will also say there's a performance out in Los Angeles that's going to take place in February with the SWAC Battle of the Bands, which has not been officially announced yet, but that's going to be big as well. That's going to be huge.
Good to know. Appreciate that info. I eventually want to learn more about and your concept about a booster organization for the band and why that's not happening already and
Well,
why
it takes
it doesn't
leadership,
happen.
and it takes
Well, why?
leadership.
But why isn't the alumni?
Number
I don't understand why you have an alumni association there. It would seem like why isn't that an organization that's being used in what it is you're talking about, which is helping to supply funds for the band to go? You don't think that should be it?
No, because you only have 2,000 people that are in the alumni group, right? You have only like 2,000 people that are going to be in there, and everybody doesn't necessarily. I don't want to put everybody's business out there, but everybody's not active. I put it like that. Okay. We have 80,000 alumni with FAMU. Tallahassee has almost 300,000 people, right? Jacksonville has millions of people. Orlando has millions of people. Gainesville has hundreds of thousands of people. Tampa has people. Miami has people. Atlanta, sure enough, has people. Now, I haven't even ventured into, just going out west or our major chapters, but we have not tapped in to the money or the way that people would be able to assist the marching band. We haven't even began to tap into that, and that is one of the things that definitely needs to happen going forward. It has to happen. And there are protocols, policies, and procedures for starting a direct support organization, but this is long overdue. Like, this should have been done years and years ago. Now that we're in the SWAC, this absolutely 100% has to happen so that we don't come back to this spot again, going to Alabama State next year and people talking about we can't go.
What's preventing what's preventing the O&G Strike Zone for starting, for helping to get that ball rolling?
Nothing. I think we should. I think we need to do whatever. Obviously, you need a leadership. You need a board. You got to go through that whole process of the nonprofit organization, going through that 501c3 and getting that going. But that didn't take a whole lot of time.
I'm just talking about a fundraiser to help put some money in the pot. I don't know. Now, I don't know which pot we put it in, but
that's the thing. We got to get the pot. Let's get the pot first, and then we can talk about putting money in it.
I love that. Don't collect the money and then don't have nowhere to put it, right, Kelvin? You got to
buy the pot first
before you start cooking.
Right.
Let's get into talking about what happened last week in the SWAC, fellas, SWAC football. Obviously, look, the big story, of course, was the Jackson State game over Alabama A&M. But I thought there were two other significant games that occurred in the SWAC, one being Mississippi Valley State with a 20-14 win over Bethune-Cookman on their homecoming, Bethune's homecoming. And then how about a battle in the West, SWAC West, between Texas Southern and Southern? I mean, so essentially you've got Valley and Southern, two teams that traditionally have been, let's say it, they've been homecoming opponents. Let's just keep it real. And now you've got Valley with 2 wins in a row for the first time since 2012, going for 3. Texas Southern has won 2 in a row. So what are your thoughts on those two games? or Valley and Texas Southern, Kelvin?
So I'm calling this month Separation Month, October, right? I think there's tiers to SWAC football right now, and of course, FAMU and Jackson State is at the top.
Okay, love it.
I'm missed on
Tier
peer review
A.
right now.
Tier A.
Yes, I'm missed on peer review right now. And here's why: they don't play Jackson State or FAMU, and they haven't played any of their toughest competition yet. You know, they're beating up on mediocre to poor schools right now. So I want to see them a little bit how they maneuver this month before I say if they're in the top tier or not. And then on the other side, you got Alcorn State. So these next 3-4 weeks will show if that separation is real or not. But that's kind of how I see it, right? I still think Bethune-Cookman at this point, I think they cooked in a lot of ways, but because of talent, they're going to get somebody. All right? Peer review, look out. Peer review, look out.
What? Whoa, okay. Okay. Kofi, what's your thought on those two games, those two teams?
Are we talking about Valley and Texas Southern, correct?
Yeah, just those two
Well,
games.
Mississippi Valley has played a nice, tough brand of football. They have been consistent, whether they win, or even when they lose. That team, I saw that team fight for 4 quarters. That to me says a lot. Talent wise, they got some transfers in too. It was, everybody was looking at, a lot of the other schools, but both Texas Southern and Mississippi Valley also got kids from the transfer portal. And let me say this about Texas Southern. Their head coach spent a lot of time on Sumlin's staff. So he's a strong offensive mind. And Texas is a lot like Florida in that state loves football. It is full of football talent. Texas Southern, in my opinion, should probably be in the top tier of the SWAC West every single year. They've got the money. They've got the ability to do it. They're in a huge city with a ton of resources. In my opinion, there's really no excuse as to why they're in the bottom tier all the time, except for the fact that the university administration has not been as committed as they need to be to ensure the success of that program. That being said, they have a guy there that is extremely dedicated to making sure that Texas Southern is going to take it to the next level. And Mississippi Valley has somebody that's there that actually wants to be there. So you got teams with talent. Texas Southern I was watching them play in the spring, and they were better. They lost games, but they were playing a little bit better than I had seen them play in times past. And so I was thinking that, this was going to be a game that I did have my eye on. Now, going back to Southern University, Baton Rouge, they're in a hell of a gauntlet in their schedule, bro. I'm like, this is it. And I was looking at the reason why I was looking at the Texas Southern game is simply because the Southern University has a new football coach that has not gone through this whole process of running a team for an entire year and then going through the gauntlet in the SWAC. It's not easy, bro. They got Texas Southern. They had Texas Southern last week. Now this week they have UAPB, who's reeling, but they're still dangerous. And then they got Alcorn. Then they got us, bro. Then they got Jackson State. Then they got Grambling. It's not looking good for Southern University, I'm sorry to say, and I'm not sure if this guy's going to survive this year.
Well, he is just an interim coach, so this is his year to impress if he's going to get it done. The other two games from last weekend, outside of ours, and of course the Alabama A&M game, Alcorn State holds off a late rally by Grambling to win 24-20 on Alcorn's homecoming. This was just the second of 3 home games that the Braves played this year. At one point, they had a 24-6 lead on Grambling. And so Grambling had a couple of touchdowns and cut it to within 4, but Alcorn State holds on. And then Alabama State got a 35-15 win over UAPB. Alabama State, their homecoming as well. So UAPB now, if you look at the standings, as I do a quick flip to the standings, of course, over in the
1-4.
East. Wait a minute, what?
I want to talk about that Alabama State score over UAPB because,
yeah, go ahead.
again,
Go ahead.
how many points did Alabama State score? They scored
35.
35. Yeah.
And against FAMU, they scored 0. So I want people to look at that and put that in perspective. That Alabama State team that FAMU beat was not a raggedy team. And then UAPB
No, that team, Alabama State they've had a good look. Right now, they're sitting in second. They've got a similar record.
UAPB was playing some good, solid ball. You know, and for them to be held to 15 points says a lot about that Alabama State team and their ability to play. So I'm interested to see. I think Jackson State's obviously, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Jackson State game against Alabama State, but Alabama State's good, man. They're not a bad team.
Let me just run through before we get into this.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Kelvin. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, man, Kobe saying everybody good. I told you already. Now, I'm gonna repeat myself a little bit. There's tiers to this thing. All them average teams you talking about good, they ain't good, right?
Okay, but hold on.
Alabama State questionable. Alabama State may be questionable, but when I'm one of those people, you are what your record says you are. So UAPB ain't good, right? Texas Southern ain't good. Right now, we finna play teams that don't play defense. Period. And they don't have depth. And that's why I say there's a tier. It ain't that, they're starting 22 and competitive and so forth, but they don't have the depth. They don't have the talent. And when we talk about this Alabama A&M game coming up, I'm going to drill them a little bit because I've watched their last 2 losses, and they just got some serious deficiencies, even with all the offensive power. But I don't want to fool our crowd. Most of the swag is not good. They mediocre.
I feel like, Kelvin, you're bringing up a very solid point. There are 2 tiers. There's that Jackson State, Florida A&M tier that you mentioned, and then I think there's that Prairie View, Alcorn State tier. And I feel like those are the only 4 teams that have anybody outside of that 4, it would be a shock. I mean, I'm talking a 80-1, Phil Mickelson winning the U.S. Open type win for somebody. If somebody out of those 4 schools wins the SWAC, and it just so happens that 2 of them are on the East, 2 of them are on the West. Now, that's not saying one of those 4 teams can't stumble over themselves, but I'm just saying in terms of, like you just said, who looks like a championship team that can win a championship, there's 4. We've been narrow. It's gone from 12 to 4. So two-thirds of the SWAC are playing spoilers right now, in my opinion. Like, somebody's going to ruin somebody's Saturday just because that's how the nature of the game is. But in terms of legitimate teams, you got 4. That's it. The standings, they say what, right now it's based on wins. You got Jackson State 2-0, Alabama State 2-1, and then you got FAMU, Mississippi Valley State at 1-1, Alabama A&M at 1-2, winless Bethune-Cookman. Over on the West, Prairie View and Alcorn. Prairie View 3-0, Alcorn State 2-0. Southern, Texas Southern, both tied at 1-1. Grambling State at 1-2. UAPB winless. All right, here we go, fellas. Let's go through this week's games, and then let's wrap it up towards the end with FAMU Alabama A&M. At noon in Daytona Beach, Prairie View A&M off a bye, traveling to a wounded Wildcat, backed up into a corner, playing Bethune-Cookman at noon. How do we see this game? We'll go around the horn. Kelvin first.
Man, I'm scared to pick Bethune again because they just hadn't closed out games, right? They get out the bad starts, man. They always come back and make it competitive, typically, but but they just seem to be, pun intended, snake bitten. So I'm gonna give them one more opportunity. They desperate. They need a win. They're at home. They just lost homecoming. Prairie View has been competitive. Prairie View has looked decent. They get even out of conference, but they just hadn't beat anybody good. So I'm lukewarm with them. So if they go down to Daytona and put a convincing win on them, then maybe they belong in that upper tier. But until I see that, I'm not. I'm putting them on. They one of my two upsets alerts this week.
Upset alert, upset alert. But you picking Bethune-Cookman, huh? Okay. Kofi.
Prairie View. Right now, until Cookman wins, after losing the Valley, bro, at homecoming with all that energy, the Wildcats are scrappy and they are talented. But until I see them actually pull off a victory, I'm going to say no. Prairie View.
Yeah, I wish I could go there with you, Kelvin. But I will say it'll be close. I'm going close. I'm going Prairie View 31, Bethune 28. So I'm going close, but not as close as you are. Let's go down to Grambling, Louisiana. Texas Southern, 2 wins in a row, coming off a big win. They're traveling and playing Grambling State, 2 o'clock Eastern. No, that is 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 Central. Who you got, Kelvin?
Mediocre teams do not win on the road. They win at home. So I'm going with Grambling at home.
I sense a theme here. Kofi.
Grambling.
We'll make it a clean sweep. I'll go Grambling as well. A rematch of a game from the spring, which was a pretty big deal for UAPB, but has not been the season that they hoped it would be. Southern taking on UAPB. That is a 3 Eastern, 2 Central game. Southern, I would normally think Southern is in a revenge spot, but I don't know if this is the kind of Southern team that it has the revenge fire in their belly. Kelvin, who do you got?
Man, this is a pick'em game, man. I'm going with Southern only because they used to being in these games and the coach is back against the wall. So I'm picking Southern by 3.
You're going away from I thought you were going to come back with the mediocre teams don't travel well. I thought you were coming back with that.
It's a mediocre. It's 2 mediocre teams and a bad team right now. UAPB, however you want to say, they 1-4.
Well, all right. So you're going with Southern. All right, Kofi, who you got?
Traditionally, I would say Southern University is going to win this game, but this is definitely a pick'em game. Jesus. Southern absolutely has to have it. And I think they may, but bruh, I'm gonna go with the S for right now. But I'm feeling like UAPB is probably gonna win this game just largely because they are at home. And I think Southern's, yeah, that's how this game is. I'm gonna say
Go
Southern.
ahead and say Southern. You come on now.
Southern.
Southern. I'm right there with you. I think Southern wins this ball game. Probably by a touchdown.
They're
All right.
motivated. UAPB was up against them it was 35 to something, 3 or 7 or something at one point in the spring, and Southern almost came back and won that game. So it'll be interesting to see how Southern comes out with their mentality, but they're not playing good defense. They're not playing strong.
No, not at all.
Southern defense. Southern is giving up a lot of points, and when you travel on the road, you want to have a good, solid defense. And UAPB, I've seen them, obviously, against Alcorn. They put up some points. So,
yeah, but UAPB couldn't stop water out of faucet right now. So, that's how bad they're looking right now. So, Southern's offense.
That's the thing. UAPB's defense is even worse. So,
yeah. This is a big matchup here. Jackson State hosting Alabama State. The big payback game, the revenge game. Alabama State got a win in the spring. This is a 3 Eastern, 2 Central game in Jackson, Mississippi. Kelvin, who you got?
I said it's 2 tiers, so I'm going to stick with that. This is my second be careful game, though. I think Jackson State will win the game. But because of the distractions of homecoming, expectations, they just had an emotional game at Alabama A&M. They may be smelling themselves a little bit, and Alabama State is a dangerous team. So I do think Jackson State will win, but I don't think they'll create that separation to the fourth quarter. Be careful.
What do you got, Kofi?
I'm in agreement with Kelvin on this. I think Jackson State is obviously the better team. I think Jackson State's defense is going to, obviously attempt to stuff the run game with their run blitzes and force the Alabama State QB to have to make plays in the air. That being said, it is very difficult for a home team at homecoming to really focus. And this is Deion's first real homecoming. They're entertaining over 200 recruits. They got practice. They've got convocation. They got the parade. They've got commercials. They got all kind of stuff that's going on. Parent, family, and friends going to be coming into town, talking to players, asking for tickets. All of this stuff can be a
lot of distractions.
Big distraction for a team that is already, in the media an awful lot, and it can drain you. And Alabama State has gone into Jackson before, and Donald Ely knows the drill. He was a homecoming opponent a lot of times at Morgan State University, so he knows how to prepare his team. They're going to be ready to play. I just think that Jackson State's defense is just going to be the difference maker again.
Ooh. Yeah, I went back and looked at the box score to see if Alabama State found their running game. They still haven't. And
is Ezra Gray hurt?
No, he's just not. For whatever reason, he rushed for like 50-something yards last week, so he was back. He was there for the FAMU game. It's just they're just not having the kind of success.
They're not
with
allowing
the
him to run the ball.
Huh?
They're not allowing him to run the ball.
Well, I mean, for whatever the reasons are, the young quarterback that they did have, he threw 4 touchdown passes last week, but I don't think you can rely on that. Not against Jackson State. So,
no.
The question is, can Alabama State's defense slow Jackson State down? Maybe force a turnover too.
Right.
I see Jackson State winning this by 2 touchdowns. It won't be ridiculous, 61-15 style. Although this is a revenge spot, trust me, I don't think they appreciated how that one went down last year. So this will be a 2 touchdown game. But if Jackson State gets a chance to put up 50 on Alabama State, oh, you best believe they will. I do believe that. I do believe that.
I wouldn't be shocked if there's a shoe on the middle of the field this week.
Is it a shoe this week?
It's a shoe.
This is a shoe game. Last week was a scooter game. This is a shoe game. All right. Good to know. Battle in the state of Mississippi, Mississippi Valley State. They haven't been in this spot since 2012 when they won 3 games in a row. They're in the midst of a 2-game win streak. They host Alcorn State. Kelvin, who you got?
Man, we're going to find out if Alcorn is at this level or not. I told you before, Valley is tough at home. I watched them play Alcorn, I want to say last season. And I'm not sure it was spring. I'm talking about last full season, regular season. And they played Alcorn. They led a lot of that game, as a matter of fact. So, man, I'm going to go with Alcorn because I just believe that they got the better offense. But, man, this one's going to be a good one, I think. I'm predicting it to be a good one anyway.
Who do you got, Kofi?
I'm going with the children of the corn. Children of the corn. I'm going with the Children of the Corn because the Children of the Corn know how to win ball games. And Valley is right at that threshold where they're learning how to win, but Alcorn's already there. And that's why I believe Alcorn's going to prevail. But like Kelvin said, this is my upset alert just because, like I said, going to Ida Beta is not easy. It's just a totally different environment. It's like going to Dover, Delaware and stuff. Because, you used to playing in front of full, energetic crowds, and then you get there and, like I said, there ain't nobody necessarily there. But this game's going to have a lot of people because it's in Mississippi and it's a rival. And then, you got the Klansmen in the trees and all that kind of stuff. And then the referees from Ida Beta and stuff, they do all kind of crazy stuff. So, yeah, Alcorn better be ready to play, man. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Going to Ida Beta. Have you ever been to Ida Beta?
Nope, never been. Didn't know it
That's my
existed
point.
except, yeah.
That's my point. That's my point. You ain't never been. Kelvin, you ever
There's
been
a
to
lot
Ida
of
Beta?
places I've never been. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. What do you mean? I mean, what are you saying? I've been to
No, but Ida
Vegas.
Beta, you just found out that Ida Beta even existed.
You're right.
You're right.
I'm with you. Upset alert.
That's
Upset alert. I'm calling it. I'm calling it three in a row for Mississippi Valley State. I'm calling it. I hate to do it to you, Alcorn. I see this one going down. And look, the ways that Mississippi Valley State has won, it's going to be wild. It's going to be ridiculous. Some fourth quarter magic that Mississippi Valley State, the ghost of Jerry Rice and Willie Tottenham somehow come rolling across the field. Huh?
They had Tennessee State dead to rights in Nashville. In 2019.
Yeah. Well, 2021. I'm going with Mississippi Valley State in this one. I'll go so far as to call it 24-21. 24-21. Mississippi Valley State wins 3 in a row. Yes, sir. All right, here we go. Game of the weekend. Florida A&M traveling to Alabama State. First off, got to make sure we give a shout out to Coach Willie Simmons, who had a birthday Tuesday, October 12th. Happy birthday, Coach Simmons. We appreciate you and everything you do for our program. And then also want to remind you tomorrow, the debut of Why Not Us, which we like to call hashtag Why Not FAMU. That'll be on ESPN Plus, debuting tomorrow, the first of an 8-part docuseries on ESPN Plus. All right, back to this game. The Rattlers traveling to Huntsville, Alabama. That is a 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central kickoff. Look, we know what's at stake. Kelvin, break it down. How's this game gonna flesh out? Who wins?
I'm gonna start with Alabama A&M defense. Their back end don't cover very well, and they don't tackle. They're not very athletic. Once you get past the front 4, front 7, our running backs can have a field day this game. That's just facts. It's on film. It is what it is. So we're gonna put up points. In terms of Alabama A&M offense, they're dangerous, but they're predictable. If you watch now we have film of the Grambling game, we have film of the Jackson State game, right? And in both of those games, 3-step drops. My man gave away a little something there with what he was saying. 3-step drops. They trying to get rid of the ball. If you get your hands up, a lot of batted balls. You drop into those hot reads, those quick throws, which they seem to like to throw the ends and the screens, the slant ends and the screens. There's a lot of opportunities for those. Bottom line, I don't think it's looking good for the Bulldogs. I think it's going to be a blowout.
It's going to be one of those situations, like I said,
you got a blowout? You going to score?
Let's say 40-15.
Ooh, okay. All right, that's a good score. I like that one. All right, Kofi, break it down.
Well, Kelvin has already broken it down. I think that obviously, FAMU has the better team. A&M has been giving up. They gave up 41 to South Carolina State. They gave up 35 to Tuskegee. So, I'm thinking that our offensive line and our running game, along with our receivers, we're going to be able to put up some points. And our defense has been lights out all year. And, so that's going to bode well for the mighty Rattlers from FAMU. And I'm with Kelvin. I'm going to go with that score that he just picked. I'm going to say 45 because we normally get a field goal in there some kind of way. So 45-14. We're going to be over 30 on this one. How about that?
I will agree. We will be over 30.
If we don't score over 30, I'm going down there personally, and I'm looking for the offense. I'm going to blacken them, and I'm going to be like, hey, dog, like, what happened? Like, everybody scored 35 points against this darn team. Now,
that's the thing. Everybody has scored at least 35 on them. I see FAMU scoring 42. I don't know, as much respect as I have for Aqeel Glass, the offensive. I don't know if you fix what's wrong with the offense. I know Ted Dixie thought, you can fix that, but they have been manhandled over the two. I mean, like
if you're out,
go ahead.
You're outweighed, bro. Like, and they just speed wise, it just did not look good. They looked slow. They looked weak. They didn't know where the rush was coming from. And that was the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just 1 week. This is the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think Aqeel Glass can afford to take any step. I mean, literally, it has to be a catch and throw. You may not have time outside of maybe a second and a half to get rid of the ball. I just don't know unless some I don't know how you fix it. I don't know what kind of. I haven't seen anything or any type of scheme
he need to
that
get
helps.
more 5 stars. That's what he need to do. He need to get more 5 stars on that offensive line.
Pow.
That's how you fix that there.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to take because this is going to be something like a 42. I feel like this feels like a 42-10 kind of game. It really does.
Right.
It feels like a 42-10 kind of game.
And I'm telling you, bro, if
initially I was going to say 42-28, but then I just don't know how us giving up 28 would be we've committed a bunch of penalties or we gave up a pick six. They got a scoop and score, a special teams touchdown. I don't think our defense is going to give up 2 touchdowns. I don't think they give up more than 2 if they give up 2. That means if Alabama A&M is scoring, it has to be because we did something. We put the ball on the turf. We threw the ball to them. Special teams breakdown. I don't know. I'm really trying I'm trying to find a way because I was so enamored with this.
Can we move on? Can we move on?
Well, yeah, we can close.
You're not giving
but I'm just saying.
You're
I'm
trying
just,
to give them points and stuff.
No,
we ain't trying to find ways to lose and nothing like that. They already know that.
I'm just trying to be realistic. I don't want all of our feelings hurt should something happen. All right. Let's see.
I mean, we would obviously have to play a very bad game for Alabama A&M to beat us. We'd have to play bad. We'd have to turn the ball over. We'd have to have mental breakdowns with our defense for that to happen.
Hey, Brian, I'm gonna help you out here. So if they get the running game going, I don't think they can do it with the pass game. But say they get our attention enough with the running game that they can get explosive plays out of those receivers are capable. The problem is the mismatch is so great, so exaggerated at the line of scrimmage that I just don't see that happening. But if that happens, then we do some uncharacteristic, like turn the ball over. Because I believe their first drive they may come out and score. They almost did it at Jackson State.
They did.
So
right.
they have weapons, but to sustain it over a prolonged period of time, I just don't think I haven't seen anything evidence that say they can keep this game close. Bottom line.
We got some other score predictions out there. Montre Bennett says 42-7. Mary 305, 45-14. Liking that. Don't see any other score predictions. Over under 5.5 sacks for our gangrene defense. We're calling it gangrene. You can keep that dark cloud. It's the gangrene defense on this show. 5.5 sacks. Over under 5.5 sacks.
Over,
Kofi.
That's a bad offensive line, man. We got a great defensive line. Over.
Yeah, over. What if I bumped it to 6? What if I bumped it to 7.5? What would you say?
Push.
That's a lot, man.
Push.
All right. So will you go over 5.5, Kofi?
I'm gonna go over, but I think 7.5 is like
about the ceiling.
Bro, we get that, bro. Everybody else needs to get out of the way.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Hey, everyone on YouTube, we appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need to get those numbers up on YouTube channel. Thank you. Definitely. Montre Bennett says over. Definitely going over. 5 interceptions. There, I love that. I don't know about that though, but wow. That's a heck of a lot right there. 5 and Larry Smith says 40-7. A lot of Rattler Nation, 7 sacks, over 7 sacks. Jackson State had 10. Yes, they did. 7 sacks on that one. So, oof.
Jackson State had 10 sacks. Woo!
I know. This game is on ESPN Plus. I'm not sure if we've been doing watch parties, so stay tuned. I have a feeling we may do a watch party, and since Kelvin and Kofi are not traveling to Huntsville, they may be joining the watch party. I'm just putting that out there.
What's wrong with you?
Yes, hey, don't lie to our audience. We traveling together to Huntsville.
Yeah, we're right now.
Yes, we are doing a watch party this week.
Yes, so all right, we will be doing a watch party. We'll try to see if we got it worked out where we can actually be showing the FAMU game and be talking about it. So make sure you come and join us this Saturday as we do the BCSN Game Time Watch Party. Plenty of HBCU games. The good thing is our game is in the afternoon, so we'll get a chance to talk about and watch that game as well as all the other games going on in the SWAC and across the landscape of Black college football this weekend. Please go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Those of you who are out there watching us, we thank you. Make sure you like and subscribe wherever necessary and possible. If you're listening to this on the Pod Zone, especially if you're on Apple, go ahead and give us a great 5-star rating. Go ahead, and a lot of people out there on Apple, it helps the algorithms and all that good stuff. And again, if you have an opportunity, go download the Jericho Broadcast Networks app on your Google or Apple Play Store. Just search MyJBN or MyBCSN. All right, we'll see you back this weekend on Saturday. Big game. Rattlers, Bulldogs. We're preparing to strike in Huntsville. If you're on the road, be safe. Watch out for those speed traps and make some noise and be loud and proud. Wear some orange and green. For Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway, I'm Brian Fulford. All right, Rattlers, you guys be safe and make sure to strike, and strike again. Good night now.